So if the answer is the telephone, if that's where you're going to do most of your conversions, even if you leave a voicemail and get them to call back, you're still talking to them on the phone, right? You're the one who's going to be selling them on the phone. How do you do that, right? Now, I'm going to use this word with trepidation because I hate it. And I don't actually mean what I've written down. You use what's called a telephone script or a sales script, right? Now, I don't mean where you have one of these like auto dialers like, hello, you have won $10 million to claim. Please call very expensive prime rate number. You know where I'm going with this? The point of a script is basically just a structure, just like a hypnotherapy session has a structure that hits certain points along the way that gets you to this end point, the result that you want. The biggest mistake people make on the phone when they actually get on the phone, do you know what it is? They give the price up front. This is what everyone asks for. How much does it cost? Of course they do, because they're concerned. Is this going to cost me? Am I going to sell my wife to be able to afford this? Some people might actually want to do that, so you know. But that's a major concern. And you can't just go, oh, don't worry about cost, whatever. That doesn't work. So you have to find a way around dealing with the costings after they realize how valuable it is. Here's how you do it. Or here's what I would do. And you have a whole version of this for a smoking session on the masterclass, just so you can hear it through. The basic principle I have, and here are the kind of steps I would go through. And one, you build basic rapport. That's done within 2 seconds by being polite, friendly, and upbeat on the telephone. That's all you need to do. Be polite, friendly, and upbeat. Don't go like, oh, hello. Oh, what day is it, right? That's not the best way of doing it. It's just like, hi, the family-friendly hypnosis center. That's a little bit better, right? Hello. It's probably not the best, right? How can I help you is usually a great way to kick things off, especially when people are a bit more nervous. So they'll probably say like, do you do X, right? And how much does it cost? Or how much does it cost for a weight loss session? Those are typical opening gamuts people have. Now, your answer has always got to be, well, you know, let me ask you some questions so I can give you the full picture. Almost no one will say, no, you don't get to ask me nothing, right? Almost no one will. Some people go, no, I just want to know how much it costs. And if people are really insistent, after maybe 2 attempts of redirect them towards a script, just give them the price and they'll hang up and just use your time with something else, right? But as a rule, at least have 2 attempts to redirect them towards the sales process. And typically I'll go, you know, sure, well, that depends. Can I just ask you some questions so I can tell you exactly what we can do for you? Or I'll say, sure, just let me just ask a few questions first. The questions you're going to ask now are very, very important. Number 1. You want to acknowledge where they're at. They're afraid, they have a problem, and they don't like it, right? So you've got to be able to plug into that. You don't just go, oh, we can deal with that, no problem. You kind of do that. But you don't want to sort of imply that it's a triviality what they've got, because it isn't for them. So you want to empathize somehow with a problem. So you can say, okay, well, let me just check. Is this for yourself or someone else? Okay, how long have you had this condition? You ask questions about the problem that are intelligent about the problem. Let's say, for example, someone has a morbid fear of ants, right? So you say, well, how long have you had this? And he goes, oh, 20 years. 20 years, that's quite some time. But it's okay. We've had people who've had it for long, and it worked great for them, right? So 20 years, tell me, when is it just the picture of an ant? Like, could you see a photograph? Or, you know, you just ask a few questions that are germane to the actual problem that they have, and it plugs them into it and goes, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He feels my pain, right? And that's important. Because if you don't, how are you going to help them? At least in their perception. If you're an expert in the field, you're going to know about it, right? You want to actually also ask, before you even get down that road, my standard opening question is always, how did you hear about us? That's a standard question, because if you don't know, then you don't know which of these is working for you and which of these is just burning money. Remember that $100 bill on the match you're going to be experimenting with today? It's kind of like weird magnetic forces, right? Well, if you don't ask that question, you might as well be doing that, because you have no idea which of these things is just burning money, and which of them, like, it could be your local businesses that give you free referrals, and that gets you thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and this thing that costs you thousands of dollars gets you 1 person a year. Might be. It all depends on your locality and your strategy, etc. So you want to ask, how did you hear about us? Next thing you ask, is it for yourself or someone else for the problem? A lot of people call up for someone else. Now, at that point, you can still give them the whole sales spiel, but really, you want the actual person with the problem to come on the line at some point as well, if you can manage it, right? Because otherwise, what's going to happen is they'll get badgered by a husband or wife to come in. They'll sit down and go, actually, I'm quite happy smoking. It's like, damn it, you just wasted my session. Get out, right? So ideally, you want to get the person with the problem on the phone. And if you can't, if it's difficult, in the sense that they don't want to come on the phone, well, if they don't even want to talk to you on the phone, do you think they're going to turn up to your office? Do you see where I'm going with this? So is it yourself that has this problem? Is this for yourself, or is it for someone else that you're inquiring? Next thing, you ask them a question about the problem. How long, how much, how big, how tall, how many, how frequently. Things that sound intelligent about the problem, so you just get them plugged into the whole thing. Next thing you do is set expectation. Yeah, we can deal with that. And we've done that. We've dealt with that sort of thing lots of times before, hundreds of times before. It's something that we really specialize in. Notice how I'm very carefully not making promises while still delivering hope. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's a very careful line you have to walk, and chances are you'll fall off it from time to time, but just keep yourself reminded. You can't promise a cure, but you can offer hope. Right? Then, once you set the expectation, you're going to run into your little pitch. Your pitch is basically the way of delivering, why am I special? Right? So the classic thing is, we use a unique method. We have a cutting-edge form of hypnosis, which cuts past a lot of the traditional resistances people might have, and goes directly to the root. Or another one might be, well, this is special unconscious hypnotherapy, which goes straight to the subconscious without any interference of other things. Yeah? Let's face it, how many times have you bought a widget because you had the bobbleator on top that does the, perplexer motion thing? So it's like, yeah, but it's got a bobbleator and it's like perplexer thing going on. People love that. I don't know why, but they do. And you may as well offer them that. So if your unique selling point isn't that unique, that's one way of freshening it up. Actually, you'll have a unique selling point. You know what it is? You've been here. You've been through conversation hypnosis. Do you know how few people know how to do that? The kind of things you'll be learning to do here. In some respects, I should have this pep talk at the end of the week, because then you'll really know what I'm talking about. But just consider this. Think about how much you learned in just 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, of doing hypnosis stuff this morning. Now extrapolate that over 6 days, working on average 7 hours per day. Right? Can you get a sense of that your skills will be significantly above the normal level? You may as well put that into your pitch somehow. Right? Your pitch is all about what makes you special. Why can I help you with what you've got? Right? So what makes you special? Why did you come to me? And I can help you with this because of these reasons. Right? Now, at the end of the pitch, one of the things you may want to add, and this is something very subjective, some people like, some people don't, if you're going to add a guarantee, add it now. Now, guarantees don't necessarily mean that you say, we solve the problem or your money back. That's one way to do it. It's the way I quite like doing it, but not everyone does. Right? Another kind of guarantee is to say, well, if we can't fix it, we'll keep working with you until we do. It's another kind of guarantee. Again, it leaves you quite open for a certain kind of liability there, though. Right? Another type of guarantee might be to say that if it doesn't work, you can go into a group hypnotherapy session for free for 2 months. It costs you nothing. If you're going to run that group anyway, you do it once a week for an hour, and you have as many people as you need to come in. It's a cheaper way of running a guarantee. Does that make sense? And you can think of all kinds of different guarantees that you might want to offer to people, and decide maybe that you don't want to offer a guarantee. I like the idea of a guarantee. Just make sure that whatever you offer is something you can maintain in the worst case scenario, right? If your guarantee is, for example, you'll do lifelong support, well, some people need a lot of supporting, and they'll take you to the cleaners, literally, right? So just think about what guarantee am I happy to make, and then make it, and then explain to them how the whole thing works, right? If you have any other bonuses on top instead of the guarantee, do it here. For example, you might send them home with a CD, a relaxation CD, a self-hypnosis CD. You might, coming to the certain program might allow them to go to a self-hypnosis weekend for free or a certain charge. You see what I'm going at? You're limited only by your creativity in terms of what you're offering to people. And the master of the bonus is about to share his insights with you here as well.
Well, you can, it's sort of a bonus and an upsell. Let's say you have a 3 or 4 session stop smoking clinic that you do for people. What you could do is you could say, and you have a sort of a deluxe service where you're going to create them their personalized CD that they listen to every day or every 2 days or whatever your system is. And you can charge quite a lot for that because it's like them coming back to you several times over. I've seen some people do it on the internet where they charge, I think, $600-700 to create just an hour CD just for you. You may not get away with charging that much, but you can certainly charge. Say they're coming in, you're charging them, I don't know, $150 for a session, an hour and a half session. I don't know what the pricing is here, but you can certainly say, well, if you give us $250, I will record you. You know, you'll also get a CD that I'll create and mail to you as well. And that one bonus, or you could do it for free when you're starting off, just to get your reputation up. That would set you apart from many other hypnotherapists who want you to keep coming back and doing several sessions. It depends on what your model is, but if you've got a reputation for offering great value and fixing problems, that's the way you're going to have lots of people refer others to you, which is the cheapest form of advertising known to man. It's free.
I'm not suggesting that you turn around and say, you know, give him an extra phobos so he comes back again for a little bit of extra work. No, that's not what I'm suggesting. But you can offer value to those people in so many different ways. Anyone here got any one of my courses? Why the hell are you here? You got my courses. You got the CDs, so what are you doing here? Right? Is it valuable being here?
Yes.
All right, in that case, give me my CDs back. You obviously don't want them. I'll give you money back, but you don't want them, right? They're still valuable. So just because they've seen you for one thing, which has value, doesn't mean that you have nothing of value left to give. You have plenty of value left to give. Do you see where I'm heading with this? So once you have a client, actually don't be surprised by the way clients come back from different issues as well over a period of time. It's a relatively common thing. You just set up the expectation inside them. It's called an upsell. When they finish their session, you can say, hey, you can, yeah, I feel great, I feel fantastic, I'm so free. Oh, really? Well, you know, a lot of people want to reinforce these things, and these CDs, you know, they're like $20, and you know, you did such a great job. Have them for $9.99. Like, just go for it, right? We'll have a special promotion, 2 CDs for $20 instead of $20 for 1. 2 for 1, baby. It's always a winner, right? And they go, great, here's an extra $20, right? Instead of having made $150, you're now onto $170. Then you have the details, of course, because they've got client intake form. So 6 months on, you send them a little card saying, hey, it's been 6 months since your sessions in overcoming mental herpes or whatever. Congratulations. Don't put that in an open letter, right? That's bad. But you write a nice little letter, you seal it up, you send it through, congratulations. You know, you should know that we're having a special weekend of self-hypnosis. And if you imagine doing all those wonderful things that you experience in the session for yourself whenever you want to, that's what self-hypnosis does for you. Here's a little flyer that tells you more about it. Because you're a past client of mine, here's a discount. Always treat them well, give them extra value, right? Then the guy goes, yeah, I loved how I felt during that session. I want to have more of that. You know, it comes to the first seminar. Seminar costs, say, $300 for a weekend. Not unreasonable. You give them a $100 discount, you've just had $200 that you would never otherwise have earned. Do you see where we're going with this? By the way, seminars doesn't have to be weekends. Great place to do seminars is evenings after work, 7 till 9. It's a great time, right? You can do little courses, little mini course, 2 hours a week for 3 weeks. You can break it up in all kinds of different ways. Your creativity will show you different ways of doing this. It's the principles that matter, right? The best time to upsell someone is when they're satisfied already. So you just give them a great session, or they've just booked and paid for the first session, right? Like Cliff was saying, you know, you can pay for this thing now. By the way, if you pay an extra $50, you get to come to the ultimate self-hypnosis weekend free of charge. for an extra $50. But you see where I'm heading with this, right? It's all about how you package the offer and make it exciting to them, make it interesting, make it fun, and above all else, offer value. Offer them value. If it's valuable, everyone wins. And a person that used to be worth $150 to you, let's say it costs you $100 to find that person in the first place, it's not unreasonable. So instead of just making $50 for your hour, you now have $500. And I'm not suggesting that you just look at people as numbers on a board. That $500 represents something. And it represents that you've offered someone value. You've offered them different ways, different approaches to improving their life in a significant way, partly in therapy, partly in the tapes that support that, partly in other experiences that help it as well. So everyone wins. And you, above all, have a more lucrative business which allows you to do more work, even free work, should the occasion arise. Everyone's happy. You see how this is such an important stage? This is how traditional hypnotherapists work, and this is why they fail so often. Or why a lot of hypnotherapists live on the breadline, and it's largely because of this. Because they don't realize that it costs them too much to get one person for one-shot deal, and they're not a one-shot deal. In fact, you're doing them a disservice that way. Kind of make sense? You get this idea? Oh, like a free story in the paper. So they can tell about how they had their lifelong, fear of being haunted by cats, which they've eaten. And then the paper publishes it like, hey, man with haunted cat thingy is no longer ill, right? And, it's a local interest story for the paper, and it's great for your reputation by publishing it.
Sorry, what would SE stand for?
Oh, it's just a session. One session. I was going to write the whole thing out, but then I turned dyslexic. Okay? So are you kind of happy again with the principle of this? I just want to, again, just cover the broad picture so you have an overall thing. There are years worth of things you can plug into each segment. How to get more prospects, how to turn more eloquent ways of turning a prospect into an actual client, how to upsell clients to more things. There are millions of offers, deals, presentations, frames, reframes you can go through. But all of those are useless unless you know where they sit in the bigger picture. So this is what I'm trying to give you now, is the bigger picture. Is this making sense? Go ahead, Robin.
You started talking about masterclass.
We have a private hypnosis club where we take kind of every month a new hypnotic theme, like a seminar, a 5 to 6 hour seminar on an advanced hypnosis topic, and we go into a lot of detail with it. I'll tell you guys more about it during the week. It's just, if you're on it, it's great. Ask people around here, some of them are on it, and rest assured, you will hear about it. But thank you for the permission to talk about it anyway, right? Your money's coming later, right? Relationship, right? So these are all things that, for us as hypnotherapists, are kind of no-brainers. It's kind of what we do. Self-esteem, confidence, memory, exam. Do you see, the list is not difficult to come up with, right? The point is, you offer, your clients will train you in what they want, so you just keep offering them stuff, and when we find people being more interested in one thing than another, here's a great thing that I heard from a movie guy who's doing this. He'd create like a dozen mock-up, like cardboard boxes, like for videotapes back in the 80 videotapes days, and it'd be like all these cool shots of the film, and stick them on in a local video store, and then they would ask the guy how many people have tried to take this videotape out. Of course, there was no videotape. There was just like cheap B movies, and when someone tried to take it out, they'd say, "Oh, someone's already hired that." Now, at the end of, like, say, the month, they'd add up which of these boxes was getting the most people trying to take it out, and then they make that film. I'm serious. So that's another way to do it. You just offer like a whole thing. It's like, we've got all these different things, but we're just out of that at the moment. Got to make it quickly after. Do you see how you can start thinking creatively, not just about your approach to therapy, but about your approach to being able to do therapy in the first place? Right?